Let's talk about the tune One Note Samba. It's a really interesting song. So many different possibilities in terms of how to improvise over it, what approaches to take. So I'm just going to take the A section here for this video because the B section is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to play through that, make a loop out of it, and then talk about some different approaches to playing over it. So first approach, well, let's first talk about the chords briefly. This is basically a reharmonization of rhythm changes. Rhythm changes in B flat would be like this: B flat major, G7, C minor, C, F7. Okay? And this is D minor, D flat 7, C minor, D7. So you can approach this the way you'd approach rhythm changes, basically. But the first and simplest approach would be to do something bluesy over it. So let's try that. I'll play a mix of major blues type licks and you know, with maybe Mixolydian, minor pentatonic, and see how that sounds. That works pretty good. So basically what I was doing there is blues licks that use both minor and major. So root, minor, major third, fifth, major sixth, minor 7, and then minor pentatonic. At one point I think I did follow the chords a little bit, so I went something like that. I'll talk more about following the chords, but you can hint at the chords and still be mostly bluesy with it. And I didn't really play a pure Mixolydian scale, which would be like, but that works. That would sound like this. So doing kind of a blues type of approach is one way to do it, and it's probably the simplest. The next thing you can do is just follow the chord tones. So I would use something like D minor 7 to G7, C7 to F7, and the D minor 7, you know, you could play kind of a B flat major 7 stuff, or you can do D minor. They sound very similar, you know, so that's going to be kind of like. And then you can throw in some other like chromatic notes to kind of connect those arpeggios. The other thing you can do is add flat 9 to dominant chords. So when you go, you can add in this flat 9, so you get, and that essentially turns it into a diminished chord. So I'll show you what something like that would sound like. That's really good exercise actually to work on playing those diminished dominant arpeggios. I could probably practice that for a while before getting getting mastery over it. It's great. Another thing you can do is take more of a scale type of approach. So you can play 7-note scales, like for instance, over your D minor 7, you can play a C minor. Because remember, D minor 7, you don't want to do, I mean, you could do Dorian, but D minor, in this case, D minor 7 is really a substitute for B flat major. And so really you want to play something that fits with B flat major, like a B flat major scale, which would be the same as C Dorian. So that's... Then we have the G7, and over G7, what fits really good is actually C harmonic minor. So you could play C natural minor. You could play G altered actually. For this example, I'm just going to go with the C harmonic minor. Then we're going to go over C minor. We switch back, we'll go back to the C Dorian. So we've got C Dorian, then C harmonic minor, then C Dorian again, and then to F. Actually, the chord in the actual chord is B7 flat 5, but over this, lots of choices, but you can actually play a B flat harmonic minor or B flat harmonic major if you're familiar with that scale. So the harmonic minor is going to sound like this. You need to resolve it to your major third or another chord tone of the D minor. And then the harmonic major is basically a major scale but with a flat 6, so it would be like a B major, but then it has... I'm going to go ahead and play the C Dorian, then C harmonic minor, then C Dorian again, and then B flat harmonic minor. We'll see how that sounds. That wasn't the greatest, but you kind of get the idea that the notes definitely work. Let's try another one. Another thing you can do is play, like as I was mentioning, like altered, so you can do altered scale. Another thing you can do is you can go with major pentatonic, which would be like kind of a G minor pentatonic. Basically just throw in some of the chord tones when they come along. So let's try that. So let's talk about the next part of the tune. It goes to a 2-5-1 to E flat. So we'll talk about how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. For your 2-5 in E flat, basically play E flat major, or otherwise known as F Dorian. It does have this little thing, at least the way I play it, that note. which you can add in, you know, or you can go full on altered with it, you know. If you go altered, that's basically a B melodic minor. And then when it goes to the A flat 7, I actually just think of it as switching to E minor. I play a E flat melodic minor over it, so essentially that's just taking your E flat major scale and just turning the major third into a minor third. So let me play over that part of it. So that pretty much sums up my my approach to this tune. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of different things you can do. I'm sure there's more than what I've mentioned here, but these are the main approaches that I take, and they'll keep you busy at least for a few choruses anyway. Thanks a lot, and I'm going to try to come back and do more song analysis and approach to different songs, do some more videos on that, and see you next time.